What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down some of the best NFL Week 11 route running here. We're going to be talking about routes from Michael Gallup, Davante Adams, and then Diontae Johnson. So I hope this video helps you guys out. I hope it teaches you a few things about what the best in the world do with their route running, how you guys can get separation against press coverage, how you guys can get separation against off-man coverage, and then how you guys can win on every single double move, okay? But also, fellas, if you're a wide receiver and you want to get more explosive, you want to improve your speed, you want to improve your speed off the line, speed at the top of the route, your overall strength, you want to build muscle, check out that very first link in the description below for our 12-week-long wide receiver gym workout plan. What it is, it's a 12-week-long schedule, 3 months of specific daily workouts with sets, repetitions, examples of each specific workout broken down into specific workout splits for you. So we break down everything. It's a 3-month plan. It'll be our wide receiver gym plan, 28-day plan, version 1, version 2, and version 3. So check out that very first link in the description below for our discount bundle pricing for our 12-week gym plan. Let's get started. So this first route here from Michael Gallup is a great example of how you guys can win against press coverage by using the lane method. So what do I mean by the lane method? So anytime that we are in press coverage, you want to think of it like you're driving. You got the left lane, you have the middle lane, which is where the DB's in, and then you have the right lane. Sometimes the DB's in the left lane, sometimes the DB's in the far right lane, but in this case, he's right in the middle lane. So if I got to run an outside release and I want to take a fade, obviously where do I want to set him up? I want to set him up to that far left lane. So I actually have to step there. The only way a DB is going to move when he's in press coverage and he's a disciplined DB is by me actually threatening him in a certain direction, right? So many DBs, if they have high eyes, like they're looking at the eyes of the receiver, looking at the shoulders, it don't matter. It don't matter where you're stepping, but we're trying to get you ready for a disciplined DB who's going to be watching your hips. So you actually have to step outside the frame and throw his hips. So he's going to be kind of going with this like wide step, kind of double tap to the inside. And look at how far he's throwing to the outside. Look at where that step is. That step is taking him all the way outside. Everything about that specific step right there is saying speed release. He's going vertical and he's trying to get back outside of this receiver, or this DB, excuse me. So now the inside move, the same idea applies. He's stepping actually outside of his frame. Look what goes with the cut. The hip is attached to the cut, and his shoulders and his hips are going towards the inside to sell that slant route. That's what gets the DB commit. This position is what gets the DB to commit. You see so many receivers, so oftentimes they'll do these kind of different footwork releases, but they stay inside this DB's frame and they just do all that quick movement and quick feet because probably this is what a lot of people say, oh, you don't want to step too wide because then you're going to be off balance. And yeah, that's true if you don't bring your hip and you don't bring your upper half with the cut. When you look at Gallup when he throws this thing here, look at this first cut. His hip is attached to the foot. Wherever his foot goes, that's where his hip goes, and that's where his upper body goes, right? So many wide receivers will step there, but they don't bring the upper half, and that's why you feel like you're off balance, and that's why you feel like you don't have any explosion because you're not actually bringing your upper half with the cut. You have to bring the upper body, you have to bring the hip to make sure that that cut is inside of your frame, but outside of his frame. That's how we get him to move, and that's how we can be explosive. Cuts inside of your frame, and we're selling with the upper half, we're throwing my hip into the cut, but outside of his frame to actually threaten him inside, threaten him vertical, or wherever we're trying to get him to go. This is a great router by Gallup, great example of how you guys can always beat a press release by stepping to the far right lane, stepping to the left lane to get this DB out of the middle lane. Okay, let's watch the thing full speed one more time. Great job stepping wide, throwing back to the inside, and then accelerating upfield to get some separation on this route. So now we're looking at this router from Davante Adams, and now this is just like what he does every single week, week in and week out. And now when you guys have a guy who's in off-man coverage, right, what should be our number one thought process here? Obviously closing the space. Now, if you have to run a fade like this, chances are if he's inside shade like he is, probably not going to take the inside release, nor do we want to take the inside release. So he's kind of in a spot where I'm cool with him being at, right? I'm cool with him being inside shade, but to keep him inside to make sure that he doesn't get a jump on this fade route and reroute me by getting on my inside hip and forcing me to the sideline, I have to keep him honest, right? I have to keep him honest to the inside. So when Adams comes off of here, he attacks him, kind of gives him that little tempo skip. And how many times have we seen him come off the line, hesitate, give a move, and then go run a slant route or an under route or 5-yard in, whatever you want to call it? That's how you guys get separation in these like off-man situations. You have to make your routes look the exact same. So when Adams comes off of here, everything about this is saying slant. Everything about this is he's going to do that same tempo skip that he loves to do, sit on that inside route, that in route, that under route. Rodgers will give him a ball and give him a chance to go work upfield. And when you're off coverage, you obviously don't want to give that up and give this guy space with the ball. But again, you're in off coverage. You have to honor that. You can't just change up the coverage from a DB's perspective. So as a wide receiver, we have to use that to my advantage. Now, when he comes up here, very patient, but look at how sudden that move is to the inside. It's just that quick 1-2. But see what his upper half does is he actually sells with his hips, actually sells with his shoulders. That's where that DB's looking, fellas. We want to move my body we want to move what the DB's looking at. And everybody says that, oh, you got to watch the hips. The hips don't lie to you. And that's not necessarily wrong. I'm not going to say that's wrong. But as a receiver, from my perspective, from an offensive perspective and being a perspective on the attack, you can throw your hips into a break. You can sell with your hips. If your hips go to the inside, very easily your hips can sell to the inside. You see exactly what that clip with Gallup that we did. We see the clip from Adams. He's throwing his hip to the inside. The steps are quick. They're not necessarily these long, exaggerated steps, but it's a sudden movement. And that sudden movement, and you combine that sudden movement with that upper half, like that hip throw, that upper half sell, where you're actually turning your body, that's going to get that DB to commit or just even to hesitate. If I can just get the DB to hesitate, I win on this route because of how much space I have and because he's inside shade, right? So that's a great example there from Davante Adams as to how we can get that DB off the platform, how we can give him that shake and make him sit on that inside move. Let's watch the thing again, full speed one more time. Great job slowing the tempo. Great job hitting him with that 1-2 and then bursting up vertical to make that play on that kind of slot fade concept, okay? So now, this route we're going to be looking at here is this sluggo from Diontae Johnson. Obviously a great catch. I think the ball maybe could have been out a little bit sooner, but I think the main thing when you're doing a double move is you have to emphasize 3 key points, and that's what he does on this specific clip. So on a sluggo, a slant and go, and all double move routes, right? Like an out and up, you got post corner, you got corner post. Every single double move. That first portion of the move, you obviously have to be a salesman. That's pretty basic advice. That's pretty obvious, right? But when you do it, how do you actually sell the route correctly? And it comes down to your eyes, comes down to your body language, and it comes down to your speed. Those are the big 3. And everybody loves to say the eyes are the most important. Eyes are not the most important because you see when Johnson bursts up into here, if your eyes are looking inside, but your hips and your shoulders are pointed outside and your steps are chopping your feet, a disciplined DB who's watching your hips and trying to match your tempo while you're running a route will not fully commit to this thing, and he will be all over this route. So I got to make sure that I'm in full stride and I actually have speed on the slant. Nobody runs a slant half speed. Nobody runs a slant with choppy steps. They run a slant full speed because they're trying to cross this DB space. They commit their upper body, and the eyes are just kind of an added bonus. The eyes will get an undisciplined DB, right? So the main things that I think you have to commit are your stride length, your speed, but also your upper body. Those are the main keys right there. So when he bursts off, it's 1, 2, 3, and you see how sudden that cut is. That sudden cut on a double move, fellas, whether it's post, corner, post, comes from you guys committing to the break. Comes from you guys commit, because you're only taking 3 steps. It's not like you're taking 20 steps, and it's going to be real hard to make this cut. You're taking 3 steps. So if you commit to it and you have speed, that will allow you to have that like kind of sudden break where you can put the brakes on and then burst back upfield. But we have to make sure that we were bursting off of this cut to widen the distance. Now, again, I think this DB didn't play this thing bad. Maybe a little bit of a grab right there. Actually, no, that's not a grab. That's good defense, getting hands on him. But again, that's a great job just getting even a little bit of separation. This kind of separation right here in the red zone, especially for an NFL quarterback, is all the separation that he needs, especially when a receiver has laid hands over the top, doesn't let the DB play those hands. That's a great overall route. I'm not mad at that route. I think it's good defense. I think how we could have sold the route a little bit more was maybe take longer strides. Maybe don't take I think those strides might have been a little bit shortened on that slant route. I feel like when he came off of that slant, he didn't have much explosion into it. So it's hard to sell the route when you don't have explosion going up into the slant. But again, just the timing of the play, just the tempo of the play changes. But great job getting that DB to just hesitate for a second. If I can just get him to hesitate on a double move, especially in the red zone, I can create space and make that play over the top. Let's watch the thing again, full speed one more time. Great job selling the route with his body. Great job having speed to it. Great job selling with those eyes and getting just a little bit of separation, which is all we need on the goal line with a talented quarterback. All right, guys, we want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. We'll get back to you as soon as I can. I always appreciate the feedback, and it's always great to hear from you guys as well. And again, fellas, if you guys want a 3-month-long wide receiver gym workout schedule, everything that you need to do daily in the gym, we include sets, reps, specific workout splits. Everything's mapped out for you. We give you rest days on a weekly basis, conditioning days on a weekly basis, everything that wide receivers need to do to improve in the gym that will translate to on-field performance. Check out that very first link below in the description. I'll see you guys next time.